still raining. Ugh. So the rain has stopped, at least for now. Yay. And we have this big boy in. What do we have, Fernando?
We're gonna do a backup camera.
Yeah, which one?
Tailgate, Echo Monster.
So the tailgate cam?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. I think we have a video on that. Probably. Alright, so along with that, they were unaware that they needed a screen of some kind. So they were either going to do a mirror or replace the radio. And since the radio is very basic and has really no features, they're going to go ahead and replace the radio. So here's the Echo Master camera here. So it's built into the handle. You could probably just drill out your factory one and get one of these little pinhole cams, although this one does look really nice. It's got the raised lip on it, so it's pretty sexy. Wonder what they ground off there. And then for radio, we're gonna go ahead and put in one of these Kenwood 374 BTs. And of course, to do the interfacing, we're gonna use this guy here. Now the cool thing about these is even though the car doesn't have steering wheel controls, you can use the menu buttons to get volume up and down, which is pretty neat. We'll show you that at the end. So let's get to it. So the downside to doing this install, because otherwise it would be like the easiest, coolest install in the world, is this guy right here, this metal bracket. Chrysler, Dodge, whatever, doesn't use a double din back. They use a single din back with a double din front. So they put this in here to hold the radio in place. So you have to cut it right here where my finger is on both sides. So what we like to use, as you've seen before, is this guy right here. It's got a metal bit in it. Just vibrates like that. Real simple to get in here and cut it with. The little brace is removed. Now we can put our radio in place. This truck doesn't have factory steering wheel controls, but through the menu system we can get volume up and down. So it's real simple. Once you've put it in and you've set the dial, hit the button, look in the little side here, there's a red light. Hit it, it'll light up red. Push the up arrow, push the down arrow, and that's it. And then just wait. This is going to blink a couple times to time out. And there we go. So now we can hit the button. You got volume up. You got volume down. Alright, so the whole purpose of this install was to add a backup camera. Fernando. And we have a backup image. We've gotten rid of the silly sign. And if that's not enough, perfect timing. It's going to be a fun day. Alright, so we're finally back to the truck. We're going to go ahead and set our gains, which is great because it has a 5-channel amp. You want to make sure all your speakers are disconnected in order to do this. We just did the fronts. We're working on the rear. Go ahead and turn it up. It's like magic. Thank you, Steve Mead and Diamore, for making that easy. Let's go ahead and do the sub. There we go. It's almost nothing. Alright, so on these Alpine amplifiers, if you don't have one of these or a scope or something like that to set them, I can just tell you from experience, you really don't need to turn the gains much. I mean, literally the sub is maybe a 1/16 of an inch off of all the way off. So now we have this set. We'll go ahead and plug all the speakers back in and actually listen to some sound. You know now and then you get, you're so excited to be done with something. We're working on the tune on this. We did the SMD, we did the time correction, we got our audio control RTA set up here, we're rocking with it. We finally, get all the mechanical side of things done, and then we're actually going to sit in and try to enjoy it, like we just showed. Run into the stupidest of problems. We spent all this time trying to retain the factory USB. It was bad. It sucked. It ended up being bad, so we had to run a new one anyways. I mean, granted, we were able to retain the same location, but yeah, sometimes just running these things that eat up some time. Well, hey everyone, a little late, sorry about that. So it's been a fun day. Hopefully you guys saw the video vlog, the half-week video vlog that went up last night. Last night was a really long night. You can see by the time I posted it. Either way, the week continues on, and we're drudging along. The big F-250 is out of here. Thankfully. Actually, the reason why we're late is I just spent the time showing the customer how to work it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, of course, we're going to get another car from them next week or the 20th. Either way, it's going to be really fun. Excited about that. What do we have here today? Let's take a look. We have a Jetta. All right, so the Jetta's in for two things. One, his dad, he's finally old enough. His dad always had subwoofers to his car, so now that his son can drive, he wants to add a subwoofer to it. So over here we have Fernando wiring up another kicker amplifier. What are the odds? What do we got? A 301. Hey, we had a question earlier posted why we use these high level to low level adapters on kicker amplifiers, because kicker amplifiers have high level input and auto sensing.
Yes.
The reason why we use this is because we found in some of the cars now that have the digital amplifiers, or something like this Volkswagen here, these amplifiers don't react well in those situations. What'll happen is that with the digital amplifiers, their high level low level adapter will clip out way too fast and not allow us to run the amplifier. Two, in these Volkswagens, what happens a lot of the times is when you turn the car off, you get that sound. We don't have those problems when we use these. So what we've done is to make our lives easier, we just sell everybody one of these. That's that. One of the problems with this car is because obviously they want to add a subwoofer, but the front speakers aren't playing. I know, right? Where are you? You're over my shoulder.
Shocking.
It happens. So how do you test to see if it's something other than the speaker? Most of the time the speaker's just blown, but what do? So we did a video a while back from the install bay where we showed you how to make a test speaker. We got one sitting right there. So what we did is we took a Ford factory speaker, we soldered some leads onto it. Now, over here in the door, this speaker is making no sound. Now, we're pretty sure it's this speaker because there's a tweeter up here in the dash, and it seems to be playing. So what you do is you just take your leads and attach them to that output. You can slide them right in, and then go ahead and turn on the volume.
Turn the volume.
All right. All right, there we go. So we're getting sound out of that. Go ahead and pull it out. And we're not getting any sound out of there. So we know, turn the volume down for me. Thank you, sir. So we know that that speaker's bad. Now the other thing that sucks about this is, see these right here, these are rivets. So what we have to do is we have to drill these rivets. We're going to use the cool, thank you Fernando.
Yes, sir.
We're going to use these cool guys right here. These are the rivets that allow us to put screws in them, which are these guys right here. And then we're going to take this guy right here, which is a speaker spacer specifically designed for a Volkswagen.
Yes, sir.
And put it all back together. And then repeat all the way around. So if you've never seen it or watched the video we did on it, some manufacturers, like we said earlier, rivet these in. So you have to drill them out. Something like a step bic works pretty good. You just... Alright, so once you get them out, what you want to do now is drill the hole a little bigger. So like we showed you, then you can use one of the rivets, put it in the door, rivet it on. Now you have a place for a screw. We've gone ahead and put some foam on the back so it won't rattle. Drill a hole for your wire. Soldered the wires onto the back of the terminal. We're going to feed this up through here. Now these have little holes where you screw in. There's also foam on the back of the speaker itself, so it won't rattle against the plastic. Since we have no idea which one's negative or positive, we've just gone ahead and connect them together. We're going to take our polarity tester. Alright, so we got them backwards. We'll go ahead and flip them. Test it again. Alright, so we're good there. Now we'll just go ahead and take a Sharpie marker and mark which one's positive and which one's negative. So if we ever have to service these and take them off, we know which one it is. Alright, so fuse holder mounted, secured, out of the way of everything. Let's take a look at the amp real quick, Fernando, before you pull it up. So we went ahead and made a cover. Covers the area here so you can't kick the amp, spill Coke on the amp or anything like that. That's with the seat slid all the way back. Put it back to a normal riding. So it's not like you're ever going to see it, but just to be safe. Sometimes you need all that and a bag of chips. Yummy. Alright, so we got a RAV4. We're putting a new radio in. Let's check out this magic here. Alright, let's set this phone in its special holder. Alright, we'll get it there. And ready, done. All right, so there you have it. This one is out of here.
Why can buy one Volkswagen? So quick.
My friend is trying to say here is, why buy one Volkswagen when you can buy two?
For the price of one.
There you go.
Boom.
Drop the mic. Okay. So the last car of the day is another Volkswagen. That's two if you're counting. And this one we're going to put a radio and a amplifier in that we previously put in another car. What do we got?
We have a Pioneer 8601 360 BT.
Alright. And the BT portion is the funny part because they don't want the microphone installed.
They don't.
No. Alright, whatever. Now, if you caught the live show today, we were actually talking about this very dash. The problem with this dash is you remove this guy here, and there's a Torx there. Then you have to remove this grill. Then you have to remove this, which it slightly comes up and out. And then you have to remove this. And it's all like dealing with eggshells. So you have to be very, very, very careful. And that's all you're gonna see. You'll have to check out the how to install a radio in a Volkswagen to get the rest of it. Well, look at that. No rain in the sky. It's gonna be a gorgeous day. So a common theme this week has been cars staying the night. Good morning. Finish it?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet? What the heck, man?
I know.
Alright. Well, it's Friday, so it starts out with a stay in the night. This car. Apparently this is a, there you go. That's an air freshener to be proud of. I can't stress this enough. Anytime you guys put stuff in, make sure you test it before you put panels back on. Nothing sucks worse getting a set of speakers in, putting a radio on the dash, putting it all back together, and the stuff doesn't work.
He can miss me with them bags.
Whenever you go to remove speakers in a Nissan, keep in mind that this portion of the door, the armrest piece, typically comes off, and there's usually either screws here or it releases this piece and there's screws behind here. But most Nissans, here's the deal, people. See this right here? This, whatever the hell you got going on here. Alright, the easiest way to screw up your radio's aux is to use a cheap ass cable like this. I mean, come on, what's a new cable? 10 bucks? 5 bucks at a gas station?
Yeah.
Okay, if you let your shitty iPhone cables look like this, your aux cables look like this, and then you come in, you're like, oh man, I don't understand why my things don't work anymore. Really? Come on, that's just sad. smile way too much. Okay, so anytime you do one of these Fords or a pickup truck or a car or anything like that, where we remove screws and you're not going to be able to put them back in, make sure you cover up these holes with something. In this case, we're going to use some Stinger Roadkill. The reason why is these holes go all the way to the outside, and you don't want water to get up into the vehicle. Now, the reason why we're doing that is because all this customer wants is a little tiny bass. So what we sold them is the Pioneer downfiring 11-inch subwoofer. And the nice thing about it is it'll sit like this. We'll be able to mount the amp behind the seat, so it's out of the way. He'll be able to remove this if he needs to, and he'll have a little bit of bass. Alright, so the amp is in and mounted. Fernando's fancy fuse holder is in. Alright, let's get this thing out of here. Alright, next one we got a Jeep here. What do we got? Oh, okay. Now, tip of the day. These fuse holders, these things suck. Mainly they suck because they don't give you lock washers anymore, and what happens is these bolts and this plastic, it all melts and turns to shit. So anytime we have these guys in a car, yeah, we try not to use them because they're garbage. So this is getting the new radio, 4 new speakers, and we're taking these bad boys out here and putting in a P301 single 12. You want some space back. What do we have here? Ooh, goody. All right, so we are going to be taking out his wire because it's CCA. I personally don't like this stuff. We're going to be installing 100% copper. So let's get to it.
If you guys remember, we talked about last week about the CCA and drilling the hole with no grommet. So there you go. That's perfect example.
So if you want to use T-taps, that's entirely up to you, but at least use the right ones. Blue is way too big of a T-tap to use here. You should have used a red. But either way, now we have to take it all apart and fix it. Alright, we're all done. So this is a pretty cool dash kit here. This is the new Metro dash kit. You end up cutting the dash. This is where the factory pocket is. So you remove the bar here, and then this snaps into place here, and then this is where those little Mickey Mouse ears are. So this kit covers those. So it looks really sharp. It's a nice way to add a double din to one of these. Oh, Jesus, would you rip off an orange grove there?
I'm hungry.
Well, you got 4 oranges in there.
Hey,
What the
it's
hell?
one for today, one for later, and one for tomorrow.
There's 4. That was 3.
Oh, so it's 2 and 2.
2 and 2?
Yes,
2 down,
sir.
2. Well,
Yeah.
that still doesn't
220,
work.
221,
That
whatever
was
it
3, and you,
takes.
what the heck? It is, what day is today?
Today, it's Wednesday. It's Thursday.
I didn't even know that was the day of the week. Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
It's Friday,
Friday.
baby!
Whatever.
TGIF! Yes,
Yeah.
TGIF, everyone. Can't wait till this day is over.
Me too.
Yeah, you know, the only suck about that is that you have tomorrow. Well, we have tomorrow. So, thank you, Ricardo. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ricardo. All right, you guys just saw this. Check this out. Okay. So, this
Beautiful.
guy here
Purple bats.
is the... Okay, this is... All right, let me show you this. All right, which is backwards. So, hang on. This guy is a jump box. So, you plug in somewhere. I don't know where.
Right there.
Where?
The black.
The black?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah, Jesus. We just got this. Okay, so bear with us. So you plug in a little jump cable, but it also charges USBs, an AC outlet here. And the reason why this is connected to the phone,
The other side.
the reason why this is connected, oh, and this is sexy too. We got it this color so that we wouldn't accidentally lose it, and it's white so it stands out in a car. But anyways, the reason why we got this is a Halo. The reason why this is connected to the phone is because we were just shooting a time lapse on the last car we did, and didn't realize we killed the phone. So to do the Facebook Live, we had to plug it in. That's why this is hooked up. But let me tell you what, if you're in the need for a jump box, and price is no object because this stupid thing was expensive, yeah, this will jumpstart just about anything.
This is the box, yes.
Yeah, this is the box for sure. But why are we here today? Okay, so what we got here behind us is a Dodge Ram. So what we have is we got one of these cool screens here. This car needs a backup camera. So what we're going to use, if you guys with these screens are unaware of that, is this guy right here. This is a backup interface. Fran, hold this for me, will you?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you, sir. Let me open this bad boy up and show you what I'm talking about. Sorry, I don't have this already unboxed. I don't mean to waste your time. So, you get a cool box like this. This is the smart box that talks to the car to tell it, hey, I'm a camera.
Yep.
And then you get this cool thing, as you suspected, is a T-harness. So this plugs into the back of the radio. This is the factory harness here. This plugs into here. And then all these things allow you to add cameras, retain overhead. It allows you to do all kinds of things. Now this will also plug into their new 4-camera switcher and allow you to do front and mirror cameras also. So this is a BCI CH41. So, and of course we're using my favorite camera, the one y'all said cost too. Yep, Dean, oh hey, Dean's favorite camera. We went ahead and prettied up the harness. We covered all the ends with heat shrink so that they won't, and the one that we unplugged, we even capped that off so it's not going to be banging around in the dash. So this is all set and ready to go. We have the end that's going to plug into the camera here. Let's go ahead and remove the radio and plug it in. And we got nothing. So we're a big advocate of reading the instruction manuals because they tell you a lot of things that you may need to know. Plus there's usually a troubleshooting section and fun stuff like that. However, sometimes the owner's manuals are incomplete. And as we just found in this guy, the owner's manual is incomplete. It looks like it's that simple. Flick the switch, plug it in, good to go, no problem. Plug the camera in, put it in reverse. But you just saw, it didn't work. Well, why not? Well, as it turns out, the owner's manual needs an update, and it hasn't been updated yet. What you actually have to do is when you're done with the install, everything is plugged back in, shut all the doors, actually roll up the windows, shut all the doors, and arm the car to lock it. Let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you can come back. And now, when we put it in reverse, we get our image. It's a blue screen right now because the camera isn't plugged in, but we get our backup image. So as much as we hate calling tech support in general, tech support is definitely, sometimes you have to call them. It's okay. And in this case, it's definitely okay. I'd like to thank Ernie Hartman, of course, for hooking us up. Thanks, buddy. Alright, so what we got going on here, in case you're wondering, is a lot of people like to go along the frame rail. We don't. We like to go up into the wheel well. We find it's a much better place to go. The problem is because it's so tight in there, sometimes this little thin cable gets caught. So we use a vacuum hose as a tunnel, and then when we get our wire ran through, we pull out the hose. Hey, it looks like somebody else did it the same way too. They have their LED wiring right up in here with with no loom over it. That's awesome. Whatever works, buddy.
Different game.
The other thing you want to remember too when doing this is don't make the wires super tight between the cab and the bed. They're not connected, and the cab and bed will move independently of one another. So you want to make sure there's some give between the wires. Like, you know, these guys knew it. Their wires are kind of loose, which is good. You want to make sure that the wires aren't super tight. So we've got the dash put back together. Go ahead and throw it in reverse for me, please. And there you go. We have a backup camera. So what we have here is this Buick, and he's adding some separates to the car, but there's no place in the door panel for the separates. And the place he wants them, which is right there, there's a clip that holds the door panel. So what we've done is we pulled the dash out, and we're mounting them here in the dash. So one of the questions is, how do I put a tweeter where it isn't? And so we're going to show you how to do that today. We've already mounted this one. And the easy thing about this is because it is a dash, you can make a template on one side, bring it over to here, flip it, and have it on the other side. So how to do that, use some tape like we've used here, and this is the shape of the dash. So you'll put it on, you'll figure out where you want your tweeter, and then when you're done, you'll peel it off, you'll flip it over, and you'll go to the other side. It does help to have two people because someone has to hold this and draw the circle, otherwise it'll just slide all over the place. So to start with, we're going to use our big uni bit, and we're going to try to find the center here and start drilling a hole very slowly, because you don't want this to just explode and crack in half. So don't push it too hard, let the drill do the work. Alright, once you have the hole big enough from the uni bit, as big as you can make it without going outside of the lines, you can take one of these as a die grinder with a rather aggressive bit on it, and we're going to start to wallow out the hole to make it bigger. Test fit it as many times as you want. There again, you don't want to make it too big. Really close. Alright, so there we go. We have the tweeters mounted. It's Friday night. Wife and kids gone. Run sounded like a good idea. It's hot as balls. Whew, let's keep going.
Come and check it out. This is the first one I ever see like this.
Oh, look at that.
This
So-
is this is
Yeah. So it's got a regular radio in there.
like, yeah,
So
no screen.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's no screen in there. Basically, it's no display, no nothing.
I bet you that's one of those radios that are only like that deep.
Probably.
That's
you know?
cool.
But this is the first one to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew they existed.
Really?
Yeah, because I think there's a picture of them on the website.
Well,
Either way.
he's gonna get CarPlay radio.
Wow, he's really jumping. All right, well, it's first thing Saturday morning. We got the jams going. We got a busy day today, so y'all just, as they say, strap on and hold on tight. we had a couple people ask us about the speaker polarity tester that's in Fernando's hands. Of course, we have several videos up about them. But what it is it comes with a disc. You put the disc on track 3. Now you could use your phone, use a speaker pop, phase detector. There's a bunch of apps for it. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to make a poppy sound, turn it up, which is moving the speaker in a uniform direction, in and out or out and in. And then what you do is you take your cool little device, go to that one, I got this one. And it will either light up green, green, red, or red, red, green. It really doesn't matter, just so they're all the same. So this is green, green, red. Now we'll go ahead and I'll do mine. Green, green, red. So that means that these two fronts are in. Go ahead and check the rear. We're good there. What do you got on yours? Awesome. All right, so that allows us to make sure that all the speakers are moving in the same direction. Because when you're done with the install, you know, you guys are paying us to do this. We want to make sure that all the speakers are doing what they're supposed to do. If one speaker is out of phase, it screws up the sound for everything. You get diminished high frequency response. The bass response goes to almost nil, and that sucks. A lot of the cars we get in, sometimes the guys are like, man, it just sounds terrible. We put the disc in or we play it from our phone, and boom, right away, it's like that tweeter's out of phase with that tweeter, the back speakers are out of phase with the front speakers, and it happens. It's no big deal. I mean, I've been doing this for years. Every now and then we'll get a car, and we put them out of phase. That's why we check it, because we're human and we are not perfect. So pick one of these up. We have a link to it in the show notes. All right, so now we have an Expedition. It has this crappy factory sub here. You see this Kicker 1200, that's the customer's. He's always got this, he also has this 12-inch Kicker box here. We've taken the whole back of the car apart. The plan is to remove this assembly here, make a mount for this. The nice thing is it mirrors this side here. It has a removable panel just like this, so we can remove it to get to the gains and all that, so we can set up the amplifier, put it all back together, actually put it all back together, then set up the gains, put the top back on. Easy to service. And then we're also putting in a new radio. So apparently today is Ford Day so far. That's 2 Fords. This is also getting another Kenwood radio.
Awesome.
So there we go, we have the amp all hidden. Let's hear how this thing sounds. Alright, so we have a Chevy Avalanche in. We're putting in 4 new Rockford speakers, right?
Yep.
And also a new head unit with an iData Link Maestro. So we have to go flash the Maestro. All right, well, it's been an hour. We got 1 door panel off.
That's it.
All right. Hey, I flashed the module.
Oh, that's plus.
It's a big plus.
What are we doing?
We're spinning around in circles at the moment. Dude, I don't know about you, but the need to put 9 metal clips to hold this little piece of plastic in has got to be insane. All right, so this one's done. A couple things we want to talk about real quick because we've had people ask about these with the iDataLink Maestros in the GMs, specifically having to do with chime, or we have some chime sound. Now, iDataLink made a change to the harness, so they had a GM5 and now they have a GM5 Plus. The main difference between the two was they reconfigured the front speaker output and also added a chime. You can buy the chime by itself, so if you had one of these installed in the past and for some reason you don't have door chime, light chime, that still
you can add it.
You can add the chime speaker to it to get the chime back. So that's key. So anyone that has iData, has a GM, no chime, there you go. So if you do have backup sensors and you didn't add that speaker, you won't be able to hear them. This is an 8200. So to see the iData stuff, there's two ways to get to it. You can select it through AV, go to car, and then on the left you have those are your gauges. On the left you have your car information, so this is going to show you your doors are open. You can also check engine and stuff like that. If you have the backup sensors, you can retain those. If you have seat heaters, you can retain those. Go ahead and X out of that for me. Now if you X out of that, go to the regular HD radio and hit the drop down menu. You also see car features right there. Alright, so there you go, that's that. A couple things to keep in mind with iData also is always check the steering wheel configuration. They make some really weird options that don't make any sense. So go back, look through them, change them if necessary. I always do because they make sense. And then you can print off what the new are so that you'll have a little wallet card. You can give that to your customer, or if you're the end user, just in case you forget.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would, but and also too, go into and print off the instructions because there again, you know, it's important. The nice thing about GM, unlike Ford and a couple of the other ones, there's no like on, off, on learn sequence. It's literally just plug it in, it blinks red a bunch of times, and then it goes green, and you're done. All right, well, we got more cars to do. Let's get to them. You all right?
Yeah.
Give me the rock. No, the rock. Give me the rock.
I can't.
You can't?
I don't know.
Someone called you Rico Suave the other day for the Porsche video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea.
Cool.
So what we got going on over here, hey Clint, is hopefully the last car of the day. We're putting in a 6100 NEX. We're putting, 61. We're putting in this, which you saw over here, the P301 12-inch version. Steering wheel controls, and
don't forget the backup camera.
Backup camera. The only really thing I could say about the Altima, just to give you guys the helpful tip of the day, is the dash. If you notice right here, see this crack? This one isn't too bad, but can you see the sheen? See how, all right, you hear that? So this dash is basically deteriorating before our eyes. So when you're pulling this apart, there's another crack here, there's a crack all the way along here. You have to be ultra careful. So pulling these things out, sometimes this plastic will stick to the dash. So just go really slow and keep your eye on it. Start here at this seam and just kind of slowly but surely pull this out. And then when you're done, be careful. Don't turn the ignition on with the airbag unplugged. If you do, you can reset it though. And how you do that is you put the key in the ignition, you wait for the little airbag light to come on, and as soon as it comes on, you shut the car off, count to 7, 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, okay, you get the idea. Do that 3 times. So when you get to 1007, turn the car back on, wait, the light comes on, turn the car off, count to 7, turn it on, turn it off. You can do it 4 times too. I like to do it 4 times. And then what happens is, resets that airbag light. Little trick there. doing a Nissan and use this BHA 7552 or the Metri equivalent, which would just be a 70, 75, 52, it has a ground wire in the harness, which is this guy right here. It's very It's very misleading. Most of these cars, this ground wire doesn't exist, and when it does exist, sometimes it actually doesn't go to a very good ground. So strongly recommend, anytime you're doing a Nissan with this harness, make your own ground. It'll save you a lot of heartache. All right, so what we use when we take these things off is a microfiber cloth. So, and there again, we leave the airbag plugged in. We just kind of set it just like this. When you go to plug it back in, just kind of fold the microfiber cloth gently, because even the microfiber cloth will stick to this, and just work it in ever so slowly. Now, before you tighten this thing in, always test the radio. Can't stress this enough. This is a CarPlay radio. We just did all the CarPlay testing. We added steering wheel controls, made sure those worked. Make sure it all works, because there again, it was hard enough pulling this thing out the first time. You don't want to do it a second. Put your hands all over it like this, push. And then, like I said, see how this is pulling up? Gently pull it up, okay? And that's it. You going home?
I'm going home. No, let's go back to the install bay.
That's it. Let's go home.
No. We have more cars to do.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No.
For Monday.
All right, that's the end of the week, people.
Yeah.
Hot damn, it's all over. Go home or go do something productive. Actually, no, finish watching the video. If you're at this point,
Finish it.
we'll see you Monday, of course.
Yes, 6:30. Don't forget.
No, we'll be earlier than that. We'll have plenty of time to remind them. You know, 2-ish, 2, whatever, I don't know. Whatever.
All right, people.
Yep. You guys have a great weekend, or continue on with your weekend. Well, it'll be Sunday at 7, so the weekend will be over. All right, well, at that point, enjoy what's left of your night, and we'll see you guys in the morning, afternoon.
Bye.
I'm delirious. See you later, bye.